Tiffany, Alicia, Lauren, let's see, Miranda, yeah, oh man, and Walter Harrington, along with Dennis and David. And one of the things that one of the things going into it to begin with was we were all kind of confused as to what was going on. Because we knew we were going on a mission trip, but we didn't know exactly the details. I'd been on 2 previous mission trips with Clear Creek Church of Christ, and it was like, one was a medical mission trip, one was a construction and VBS mission trip. This one was like, well, you guys are going down to encourage the church in Grenada, and you guys are going to teach English. Okay. But I don't speak Spanish. Like, how am I going to be able to teach anybody English? But that was actually one of the exciting things. So, most of these, I've got 85 pictures. We'll probably stop going through all of them, but just quickly. These 3 pictures were from the first night that we actually got to Grenada. When you stepped out of the airport, the degree increase was probably around 20, 25, because they kept the air conditioning in the airport, and we stepped out in I would say 90-degree weather, probably something like that, along with the humidity. So that was a bit of a shock, but it was expected. We all knew it was coming. So, go ahead. First breakfast we had looks like a United States breakfast, and it was fantastic. It was like, yay, I get to feel at home, even though we're in a weird, random country. Another picture of home, Coca-Cola, yay, especially for all of us being here in the South. When you go to Grenada, when you first go in, there's a sign that says Bienvenidos, which for some of you know is welcome to Grenada. And there's a picture of this church. It is the staple of the entire city of Grenada. So naturally I took a picture of it. Plus it was really nice. This is where we stayed the first night, the Hotel Alhambra. They have air conditioning in their rooms, so that was nice. It was great. Go ahead, Chris. This was one of the moments, and you'll see throughout the different pictures, and you can just cycle through, and I'll just make little blips, but we got to spend time with the church and with the families there. One of the exciting things is that instead of us being pulled back together every night and staying with each other in either a hotel or a compound, or not a compound, but a community, we actually spent the nights with the church members. And so, as you can imagine, Travis and I actually got to stay with Gustavo and Ignacia, and every night it was a challenge to talk. I'm a jabberjaw. I like to talk. I hate the fact that I can't speak Spanish, because then I don't get to converse. 90% of my time was flipping through a Spanish-English dictionary trying to say, what did you say? Oh, okay, yeah, that's breeze. Okay, I understand that now. And so it was difficult, but we got ingrained in the culture of it, and most people just don't get to experience that. We got to encourage each individual family along with the different people. That was first time we actually saw David. Actually, that's David on the back. Alfredo's driving him. I decided, hey, I was like, let's take a picture of this. This is entertaining. And so, wait, is Melanie not here? Oh, there she is. Hey. So, just to show you the recklessness of David when he gets out of the country. No. But it was all. I mean, pretty much going to Nicaragua is pretty reckless anyway. So this is our first night actually, or our first day walking back to the church building. What you see along the right side is basically their sewer system. It's just, they pump water from their houses into the sewer system, and then it drains into some kind of gully of some sort. Either that or into a sewer. Very interesting, very smelly. It's a different atmosphere. And so here we are, we're meeting up. I think we were actually about to head to the English Academy there, possibly, I think. One of the things that we got to do is we had classes inside of the church. Yeah. I had to take this picture. I'm kind of jealous, but but one of the things we got to do at the church was we actually got to hold classes there and be able to teach English to anybody in the community who wanted to come in. Actually, my first experience, this was very, very scary at first. This young lady comes in to the church, and David looks at me and he's like, "Hey, Nick, so you got her, right?" I'm like, "I guess, sure." She comes and she sits down, and I instantly realize all I know is English, all she knows is Spanish. So the barrier there was just so much that I felt really nervous, but I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with this lady. I've got to get somebody. I was like, "Hey, Miranda knows a little bit of Spanish, so David, why don't we switch up and Miranda can take over, and I'll just, do somebody who can speak a little bit of English." So that was definitely, this is the actual picture of their sewage system from the house to the road. But over the course of the 2 weeks that we were down there, I guess we only really got to do, what was it, like 5 days of classes inside the church building? Is that about right? Was it 9? I know we had 2 different weeks. Was it 9 days? Wow, okay. Apparently it was 9 days. That was 8 or 9. Yeah, it just, I don't know, it seemed like a lot shorter than that, which was nice. It was interesting just because, for me, I like to fly by the seat of my pants, but then at times, if there's, if you give me pointers, it helps out. And so that's really what I was given as far as how to handle Spanish speakers. And so the first guy I got was Axel. He was a teacher at the English Academy. So he spoke English very well, and I was like, yes, score. I don't have to speak any Spanish. I can learn a little bit from him. And we were going through this LST book. The only thing is it's a very, it's used for people who are fairly new to the English language, which is understandable. And so for me, I actually wanted to just have Axel bring out his Bible. So we got to sit and just talk about Bible stuff. That was fantastic, and I loved every minute of that. And so being able to just kind of discuss his beliefs and my beliefs and just see where he was at, where I was at, being able to bring him into the church. I think he went to a different church there. He it might have been a Baptist church there, but nevertheless, just being able to talk with him. Let me see. More of the culture. Right outside the Hotel Alhambra, you had these coaches that would take you on a tour of the city. Every single time, you'll also see this. You were bombarded, especially since you were from the United States and everybody knew you were from the United States. You were bombarded by salespeople. You were bombarded by people trying to give you things. These guys were trying to get you on a tour of Granada. This is actually Axel. This is the guy I got to hang out with for most of the times that we were teaching English. Just being able to learn about him and his culture. You'll see these are pictures of us inside of the church actually studying. Let's see. Oh, glad this picture popped up. We actually got to go on other visits. Besides the families that we were spending the nights with, we actually got to go and visit different families from the church. This is Yvette. This is not Yvette, but this is Yvette's house, and this is one of her sons, and Jessica is studying with him currently. He spoke really good English. He could speak it really well. He just didn't know what he was saying. That's the only thing. It's kind of, once you learn the pronunciations of English, or for instance, for us, Spanish, you can say the words, it's just, you have no idea what you're saying, is the only thing. So that's Yvette, and those are her 2 boys. It was surprising because Yvette looks very young, and I thought she was actually the sister of the 2 boys, which was interesting, but no, come to find out she's the mom. So that was a little interesting. But this is just our group hanging out with them. Let's see, another thing. Originally when we went down there, we didn't have the English Academy set up. I don't even know what our evenings were going to be like, but Jacob told us about this English Academy, which these are the pictures from it, that we could go to and supplement their English knowledge with just conversing in English with them. Got to meet numerous students there. Some of them spoke very good English, some of them not so much, but that was one of the great things about the LST book, is that it was just an easier reading for them, being able to go through and see, okay, these are the different words. Any words that they had questions about, we would ask them, hey, do you understand what this word means? Most of the time they would respond back in Spanish, and then we'd get a translator over and be like, what did they say? So, but all in all, I would say, at least for me, and I can't speak for the whole group, I would love to, these experiences, just being involved in the culture, seeing just the poverty, but seeing how big their hearts are. And it's not just the church as a whole, but even just the communities. Like, I mean, there was a knowledge gained for all of the United States, or for all of Nicaragua. You could see that because they didn't have like 152 channels, because they didn't, have all these smartphones or Facebook every day, they actually went out and talked to each other. They actually had a community. They actually cared for each other and knew each other. This is at Ignacio's and Gustavo's house. They actually had a store inside their house, which was the first time I'd ever seen that. But they had a store that they would sell stuff. Ice, little like slushy type things, out of bags. Those were interesting. We weren't allowed to try those. I really wanted to. But no, instead I had a taste of the lake, and that wasn't a good experience. They would sell these different like chips, just snack type stuff out of their house. And those little kids were neighbors. They would come over, and I'd be sitting there eating breakfast. Generally, I was the first one eating breakfast because Travis here likes... Travis, when he gets to a different country, is less organized than me. So I become more organized. I'm terrible here in the United States, but when I go to a different country, it's like everything's organized and packaged correctly. Here in the United States, you go to my room, you'll see, I don't care. But these little kids would come over and they would like look through the window, and so I had to take a picture of them. They would look through the window. I was like, oh wait. They never said gringo, but I'm pretty sure they were scared. But they had to come to the window and just look. I got sick one day, and they came over to grab some food, and they saw me sitting out on the porch, and they were just like, hey, okay, let's go over here, let's talk to him, but keep an eye on him. So they were really fun, but it was just seeing just how accepting and loving people were to each other, to all neighbors. I mean, everybody knew everybody else in their neighborhood. Their little section of town, they knew everybody. And it was kind of like their way of doing a neighborhood watch. Oh, yeah, these are the salesmen we would get bombarded with anytime we were out and about. Bus trips, those were enjoyable. It's always to see how many people you could get on to a bus. The bus trips were actually really cheap. I mean, they were really cheap to us. I think they were like about 6 cents. Four Cordovas, but about 6 cents each trip. So that was an interesting experience. But just seeing how many people they could fit on a bus. This was we would is it Thursday nights? Thursday nights, okay. Every Thursday night, well, of the 2 Thursday nights we were there, both Thursday nights, and I guess they do it consistently. Every week on Thursday night, they go to one of the members' houses, and they have service there. And so then after the service, they generally distribute refreshments, whether it be like sodas, or you generally get like a drink and something to eat. They had had really sweet bread, and it was really good. Some people will attest to that. But, listen, what are we doing? Oh no, I forget what we did on Fridays. Fridays we'd have services, yeah, okay. It was, yeah, the church services were, they would have them Sunday mornings, they would have them Thursday evenings and Friday evenings. And so that was different, getting used to that, because it was like, Wednesday, like, what do we do? You know, it's like just being used to in the United States, just we have Wednesday nights available now, but Thursdays and Fridays they would have services. Fridays at the church building. Actually, speaking of one of the Friday nights, we actually had a really interesting experience when David was actually trying to give a lesson. All of a sudden it decided to rain, and on a tin roof, rain does not sound soft at all. And so we couldn't make out anything that he was saying. They would turn up, he was basically yelling into the microphone, and still it was just of no use, of no avail. And so that was definitely an interesting experience. Also, just another entertaining story. In Nicaragua, since the heat is so high, and they have plastic chairs that they sit on, one Sunday morning, this is the Friday night that you couldn't hear anything. It started out really well, and then they went to the microphones, and then it was all over after that. But anyway, these plastic chairs are plastic, and heat and plastic do not mix very well. I weigh about 270 pounds on a good day, and we'll say that Sunday was a pretty good day. Before I'd come close to breaking one of these chairs, well, this Sunday, I decided I would be dumb and sit in one of them instead of sitting in two, when normally the bigger people would sit in two of them. Sat in one midway through the lesson, all of a sudden the back parts just bend out, and I fall down. And so, scared the poor ladies that were sitting behind me, they all screamed, and for the life, they could not pick me up for the life of them. There was no way, to no avail, all four of them trying to scoop under, they're like, this guy's big, we can't get him. Luckily, Alfredo, one of the other members, came over to my aid. None of the people from the United States decided to come and help. Not at all. Decided to look, laugh, have themselves a good time. Nobody got a video of it, which is kind of just depressing, because that would be awesome. But yeah, it was just, Alfredo came over and picked me up, so that was definitely interesting. We actually got to do a tour of the lake, to an extent, that terrible, terrible lake. The story behind the lake is, I was asked by Walter whether it was, this is the typical breakfast in Nicaragua, rice, beans, and they actually did eggs and ham, so that was nice. You had coffee, which their coffee is actually a lot better than ours here in the United States, just saying. I don't know. Well, maybe I think she put chocolate in it, and so I think that's why I really enjoyed it. And so this is our family. This is our 2-week family. Gustavo, Ignacia, myself, and Travis. So we got to hang out with them. This is Alvaro, and then the next picture is his wife, and that's where Dennis and Walter got to spend the 2 weeks with. And so, again, there were just times where we would just go and do visits to the different family members from the church. Just being able to, it's so much more relaxed in Nicaragua. Here in the United States, you're stressed. You got to do this, that, and the other thing. I mean, like even now, we're trying to prepare. That is David driving, and that is Dennis riding. And so, Dennis, I do apologize for putting that up there, but I wanted to. That was definitely a fun time. But for them, I guess. This is a picture of all of us with the pastor and his family. Jose Diaz. Oh no, I forgot her name. Mrs. Diaz. There's Angel, and then Julemi is the one in front. For some reason, there's Erica behind Tiffany. so they all, they were also very welcome. That's actually where David spent his 2 weeks was with them in the church building. And I thought this was a fitting close. We went. Oh yeah, there we go. That'll work. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know.
This is us. This is the end of our journey. Juan and Leonora's in the back. They were actually the ones who housed all of the girls. All, was it 5? Wow, okay, yeah, all 5 of them. I don't know how to count today, apparently. But they housed all 5 of them. They were also very accepting to the rest of us. Leonora was, I mean, we got to go and visit with her and make meals with her. I think all of us probably about 4 times, about 4 or 5 times, just because she would constantly open up her house and say, "Hey, come and eat." I mean, that's the thing about Nicaragua. I mean, that's the thing about the church there. That's the thing that I see at times here in the United States is the community, the family, but at times I don't, especially in the church, when we're supposed to be. I mean, we have rifts. I mean, they have rifts. I mean, there are struggles that everybody goes through, but nevertheless, it's not a hateful bickering. It's that, yeah, there's this issue, but we're still going to love you. We're still going to love each other. We're still going to bend over backwards